Now, I would like to invite Professor Razamir and Omar Sheikh to present the first out of 3 Muslim for Peace Humanitarian Awards. So, without further ado, welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's so wonderful to see such a great turnout. And we have 2 awards to present here. And I will let Umar make the announcements for the awards.
Thank you so much.
Don't worry about it.
Salam, everyone, and thank you for coming. Can you hear me okay? So I'd like to invite up to the stage both Freshta Taeb and Sikandar Khan. And the 2 of them are this year's Muslims for Peace Humanitarian Award recipients. And I've known Freshta for years, growing up with her on Staten Island, and I've come to know of Sikandar's work. Please, come. And we wanted to recognize both of them this year because of all of their work, not only over the years, but especially since the Afghan crisis started, right? And I use that term loosely, right? But let's say when it started in the media, right? The 2 of them have given countless hours and have worked tirelessly to help every situation that they've encountered with respect to Afghan refugees coming to this country. So I wanted to give them an opportunity to tell them all about their work, and so you can get to know them, and so you guys can know how you can help as well. Please, so I'm welcoming Freshta Taeb and Sikandar Khan.
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon. My name is Freshta Taeb. I want to thank Muslims for Peace for honoring us with this award, and especially Umar, who is actually a really amazing person that I have always looked up to. Also, I have to point out that Sibianti was my Sunday school teacher, so claim to fame. It's not a coincidence that when you look around the room, that all of our paths some way have crossed. And it's not a coincidence that there are so many familiar faces out there. And I thank each and every one of you for playing very integral roles in my life. The most important person that has played a key role in my life is my mom, who's seated right here. My mom came to the United States as an unaccompanied minor at the tender age of 17. When she got off the plane, it was shortly after the Soviet Union had invaded Afghanistan. And when asked where her documentation was, she said, "I'm here as a political asylee." And when they uncovered the passport that she had ripped up and flushed down the toilet, they saw that the picture on the passport did not match hers. So she was cuffed and she was detained. And that is why she is the original gangster. And she has been my inspiration throughout my entire life, watching my parents struggle as immigrants and trying to make a life in this country has been very integral in most of the things that I've done. Funny but not funny story, I had plans to visit Afghanistan for the first time in my life in September of 2021. Well, guess what? It definitely was not my destiny, and I always say that instead of me going to Afghanistan, Afghanistan came to me. And it came to me in the most overwhelming possible way. I got a phone call shortly after the collapse of Kabul, asking me to come to Fort Dix, which is not too far from here, a military base, an Air Force base. where myself and my amazing counterpart Sikandar were tasked with quite an endeavor. We together met over 17,600 people. This Air Force base was turned into a refugee camp. Some of the things that we've been through, I don't think that people have gone through in their entire life. We watched our people stand in lines, 1,000 people at a time, waiting for food, waiting for clothing, waiting for laundry, in very, very dire situations. We went and fought tooth and nail, day after day, trying to get folks cultural competent care, trauma-informed care. And that has led us down a really long road, a very long journey. And you can only imagine. We've had moments where we've done things that we've never done in our life. We've smuggled donations onto a US military base. We've sat down, we've cried with people, we've listened to people, and now that Afghanistan is falling off the media, off the screens, this award is dedicated to those women and those children, especially the female children, who are struggling so much to try to make a living out of themselves in such a difficult situation. I'm going to hand it over to Sikandar.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'll try to keep it short. First of all, thank you for presenting us with this award. Like Freshta said, this award is for the men and women that came from Afghanistan that we served this past summer. I'm going to tell you guys a short story. I attended the School of Diplomacy and International Relations at Seton Hall. In my sophomore year, I decided to sign up for several jobs, and eventually I got recruited by the intelligence community to work with the US Special Forces in Afghanistan. In my sophomore year, I deployed to Kandahar with US Special Forces, and one of the things I experienced was how terrorist organization was using religion to manipulate and brainwash individuals for their own goals. I was listening to a radio channel every night, and I would hear this speech every night from a religious leader calling upon youngsters to become suicide bombers and kill US soldiers. And the colonel was sitting right next to me, Colonel Oliver, and I go to the colonel, I'm like, Colonel, why don't we block this channel? Well, we are the United States of America. We can block this. And he was thinking about it, and then I go to him the next day, I was like, I have a better idea. Why don't we get somebody from the Justice Department to provide the right interpretation of Quran? And he really liked that idea. So next week, the following week, we had a young girl who understood not only Islam, but other Abrahamic religions as well, who provided the correct interpretation of Quran. And by the way, we blocked that guy. Now everyone's listening to our interpretation rather than his. And believe it or not, within 2 weeks, the front gate of our base was packed with young women, especially women and teenagers that wanted to sign up for trade school and wanted to join the Afghan military and the US military. So as I was reading about this wonderful organization, one of their key component is education, and that's the power of education. Providing the right message about Islam and any religion out there is extremely important. And when I came back, I founded an organization called Global Emergency Response and Assistance to mainly focus on preventing youth from joining terrorist organization and through that organization, we have served over 300 Syrian refugees, Afghan refugees, and now serving Ukrainian refugees. So again, I thank you for having me, and I'm really out of words. This award really goes out to the many women and men that came from Afghanistan that we have worked with the past couple of months. Thank you and have a good day.
This is for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.